Welcome back to Daddy Guy's Kitchen. We are escalating our path toward our massive 20-person dinner party for my wife's wonderful birthday celebration tonight. It's time to get serious about the dressing for our grilled romaine and kale Caesar. I'm not going to address the greens part of this until right before the meal, but if I go ahead and make this dressing, it'll have a chance to kind of reach its full expression of flavor, and I'll have one more thing finished before we get to crunch time this evening. So I have started with, I've got 8 egg yolks here ready to go. I'm going to measure out my oil here. I'm using a mixture of vegetable oil and olive oil. It kind of lightens things up. The olive oil could be a little heavy to have this much oil. There's a good bit of oil in a Caesar salad. I'm going for 2 cups of vegetable oil. And again, keep in mind, I'm making this salad for 20 people tonight, so I'm really doing things in large multiples. And then 8 tablespoons of olive oil. And to save time and different containers, I'm just going to mix these now. So now we have our perfect ratio, 8 tablespoons of olive oil to 2 cups of vegetable oil. I'm going to do, this is just so much fun. This is where making a Caesar is just really artistic and hands-on and tactile and fun. I'm going to give myself a little space here to work with. I have got 4 garlic cloves. So I've got a tin here of anchovies packed in oil, and in my opinion, anchovies really are the star of a Caesar salad. I know plenty of people that just don't like anchovies, but do like Caesar salad dressing with anchovies. So if someone starts to freak out about that, I often like to have them taste it before they go nuts on the anchovy front, because typically they won't notice or mind. I'm the kind of guy that asks for extra anchovies. Go back to my garlic cloves here. I want to crush each of them down to bits and shards. And the anchovies are plenty oily, so I'm beginning to create sort of a wonderful paste. I'm going to put a very healthy amount of kosher salt right over the top here. And this is where it just gets so fun. I'm just going to give rough chops through the anchovy, garlic, and salt. And I'm going to now take the back of my knife, now that I've got things nice and chopped down, and I'm just going to make this into a paste. And it is this holy mix of garlic, salt, and anchovy that really defines a Caesar salad, in my opinion. This is what it's all about. This is why we eat Caesar, and this is why we eat Caesar at home, so that we can assure that this much effort has gone in. Nothing like an old-fashioned restaurant that does this tableside. One approach would have been to do that for our guests this evening, but I'm darn happy that I'm going to have this ready to go, and I won't have to be worrying about salad dressing when I have folks walking through the house tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and get this wonderful paste that we've made into our bowl, and we're just going to begin building from here. And now we get to really kick this Caesar dressing into high gear with the addition of our eggs, which we're going to just whisk in with our paste. Beautiful, like sunshine. It's like the start of a very bizarrely flavored breakfast scramble. Luckily, we're not going to be taking it in that direction. So into our egg and garlic and anchovy and salt paste, I'm just going to begin eyeballing the addition of lemon juice. I think I want about 8 tablespoons, so I'm just going to say tablespoon, tablespoon, tablespoon. Let's say half a lemon's yielding me 3 tablespoons, and I need 8. And we can always add more, but we can't take out. Although the good news is if you add too much lemon, you can just add in more oil. It'll balance out quite nicely. But I think 3 will do it for now. And whisk, whisk, whisk. And now I want just shy, I think I want 3 teaspoons of Dijon mustard. Dijon mustard is such a wonderful base note flavor. You can put Dijon mustard in so many things that never end up tasting a thing like mustard, but because they were in there early, because they got a seat at the table from the get-go, everything's just going to taste so much better. And when you see all that blended in there, we're going to begin emulsifying together this dressing. And when I say emulsify, I mean the process by which we slowly stream a fat into a relatively non-fat-like substance. And by constantly whisking and stirring, we're going to just break up and create the tiniest little globules, molecules, areas of fat, and we're going to allow the fat to bind to the molecules of other dressing ingredients, and this emulsification process is what's going to create a beautiful, rich, creamy dressing. Pretty aggressive here for 20 people, but take the time to do this right. The good news about emulsification is that once you've got a good creamy base layer, you can begin to add things in more quickly. It's a lot of salad dressing. I'm going to go ahead and give a taste at this point. Oh, it's wonderful. It's actually just about perfect in my eyes, and I would love to spare my guests and myself the addition of any more of this oil. We only want just as much as is necessary. And again, I'm quite pleased with this. This evening I'm going to toss my romaine spears and my kale leaves and a little bit of olive oil, hit them on the grill, get them a little bit charred up and wilted, and then we'll pour over this delicious dressing for a Caesar salad that I think our guests will be talking about for quite some time. And there's that beautiful dressing, ready to rest. All right, gonna keep this somewhere safe. So I want to turn our attention back to our Caesar salad for a second, and I'm going to indulge, just because we're so well planned out this evening, and right now we seem to have the gift of time, I'm going to indulge in a little technique that I really love for a Caesar salad. If I were really in a rush, I could totally skip this. The dressing is amazing enough that we're going to have a delicious salad no matter what. But I, over the years, have really come to love and enjoy what I call a grilled Caesar, which basically means we're going to take a minute to grill the lettuces we use in the salad before we dress them, and it just kind of helps them wilt a little bit, brings out their natural sweetness and flavor, and just creates a little bit of a more completed dish than just a raw, here's your lettuce for you, which would be fine. So I have heated up what I call a plancha. It's just a like $20, one of the greatest kitchen tools you can find. It's like a $20 cast iron grill that covers 2 burners of my stove. I've had both burners on high for maybe 5 minutes. It needs to get really hot, so it still needs a little bit of time. But I'm gonna go ahead really quickly and hit this with a little bit of my oil cooking spray. And I'm just gonna do this like so. I'm just going to cut into my romaine stalks. I'm going to cut them into quarters. I'm going to lay them out here in front of me, and I'm going to give them a little quick drizzle of olive oil all over, nice and covered. And then I'm just going to begin laying these romaine spears one by one down across our grill. So let's take a look at our romaine. You see we've got this is exactly what we're going for. Perfect charred ends, but still relatively intact romaine spear. Gonna pull these off, and we'll keep adding our next spears one after the other. So we've got our romaine fully grilled and wilted down.
Wonderful.
And now I'm going to move into something that I'm very excited about, kind of a rare find. I'd never even seen these before, but I really wanted to mix this up and have this Caesar go beyond just the traditional romaine. I wanted to have some kale in it as well. And I found at the market these amazing kale flowers that are the flowers that kind of bloom. They're like mini kale stalks. So I thought these would be fun to mix into this Caesar. So I'm just going to, this is a real daddy guy move here, trying to prevent and save another dish. I'm just going to pour some olive oil right here into the bag with a little salt. And I'm just going to shake up these kale flowers and get them nice and oily. Shake and bake, and I helped. And then I'm going to turn these lovely, well-oiled kale flowers right out onto my grill. Great fun. And we're going to continue this process with the kale flowers. So our kale flowers are ready to go and just smelling delicious. It smells like we've been roasting Brussels sprouts. They smell fantastic. Okay. Beautiful, beautiful kale flowers. Make sure you can see that. And I'm just going to put them here safe and sound with our romaine. And we're one step closer, one less thing to worry about. It's getting very exciting around here.